Hello everyone and welcome to episode 14 of Mikki's Musings and Readings. For those of you who watched last week's video, you will recall that my cat Elliot went missing, and I'm so happy and glad to tell you that he returned last night. So my heart is really smiling. I am so happy that he's back. What is interesting is it's almost like he decided to take a 10-day holiday, and in fact he was never far. He was, as I already told you, I live in a small village, and all the properties are actually linked. So he was taking his holiday or his vacation in the gardens just at the back of my garden. What is interesting is I saw him several times, but he ignored me. He didn't want, the moment I tried to approach him, he ran away. It was as if I was embarrassing him. So I'm laughing because some people who with cats told me it's his little adolescent crisis and he decided to just take a holiday and explore a little bit further than our garden. It was a lot. It felt long for me. But also what is interesting, when he came back yesterday, he just sort of fell into his normal habitude en français, so his normal activities. I can't find the English word now, but anyway, he continued with his life as if he wasn't away. What I also want to share with you is I learned so much from this experience. First of all, to have patience. I went into the area that he was every day, several times a day, just so that he's aware of my presence and that he knows that I didn't abandon him and that I miss him and that I would like him to come back. That's one thing. What I also learned after talking to several people and watching some videos on YouTube is one shouldn't call your cat in the area, even if you find him in a certain area. You shouldn't call him when in that area. You should, in fact, call him in your own garden. And that is something that can guide him home, because apparently if you call him from several different positions that's not in your property, you could actually confuse him. So one video that I watched said that a cat don't see very far, and that it's sound and smell. He can find his home again. So what I did was every evening I went to the bottom of our garden, to the end of our garden, and I called him. And most of the time I noticed that he stayed quite close, so he could hear me from there. But in fact, he still took 10 days to come back. But he's happy to be back, and I'm happy to be back. So also what I wanted to tell you, I did ask an animal communicator, an animal whisperer, to talk to him telepathically. And what she said was he enjoyed his freedom, he enjoyed his catness, so to speak. That's what he would like to explore more from now on. So just to explain to you my situation, my garden, if I want to go into my house, there's you have to traverse une cave, a cellar. You have to to cross the cellar and then go upstairs, and the house, in fact, is on the first floor. So I didn't install cat flaps before, but now I intend to install cat flaps so that he can come and go as he wishes, because apparently that's what he missed. I used to bring him in like at 9 o'clock at night, and then I closed the door so he couldn't go outside. And he is what's here in Europe what's called a European cat. He's got a little bit of wildness in him, and I think he will enjoy a little bit more freedom, and he will enjoy to stay outside at night a little bit longer. So what I said last week about accepting what is, I really practiced that all the time, and I'm glad to say it helped me a lot to just feel all the emotions that I experienced, to let them be there, and I can't say that I enjoyed them all the time, but I accommodated them. I allowed them to be there. I didn't fight them, and yes, so it was all in all a lesson for me, or I learned a few lessons, and I learned to have a lot of patience. But I'm glad that the end of the story is a good one. So as I said last week, if you have some stories about your animals, I would love to hear them. And yes, enjoy your animals. They are so wonderful. We learn so much from them, and their company is so precious. So take good care of yourself. See you next week for another episode of Mikki's Musings and Readings. Bye for now.